And what he has is a job. Job is John of followers, and because it's John of followers, Job, that's why people are just over broke.
Thank you so much for being on this channel. I appreciate your company every single time you're here. For those that have just subscribed today, thank you so much. Refer this channel to someone out there. Thank you so much to Fort Mount Studios for making sure we're in a beautiful space like this one. Also, Betika Zambia, our sponsors, appreciate you so much. Remember, that's where you go right now. Sign up and become an active member, and bet responsibly. That's the home of champions. My name is Jay Kale. Today, I'm excited to host, Dr. Steve, a good friend of mine. We've been talking for years in the background, worked on so many things, and he's helped so many institutions get to standards that they're supposed to be at. And I thought I should have a conversation with him so that you can also learn one or two things about him and maybe find him too, so you can, catch up with him. Dr. Steve, it's good to have you here.
Hi Jay, how you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm so glad to have you here finally.
I'm super excited.
Yeah?
Yes, I know you've been chasing after me all over.
You're too busy.
I felt like I'm summoned.
Yeah?
The authority you gave me today was more than the police.
You are coming. Yeah,
that just have to be here. Whoever called me today just said, I'm meeting somebody more important and more than important.
I appreciate you.
I'm great.
Thank you so much for coming here.
Thank you.
Now, Dr. Steve, there's so many, motivational speakers. There's so many people that carry that reputation. Me, where I go, I speak, I train people. You've trained so many institutions. You've spoken to so many people, but obviously just a little background, before we get into what you do. For me, my main concern, I've told you before, customer care, the customer service in different places. People complain. There's different institutions out there, different retail outlets where people complain, and we've just gotten used to it. It's just like that.
It's normal.
Yeah, we want to talk about all these things. Now, obviously, before we get into that, just a little bit about yourself. Yeah, I know you personally. Somebody out there wants to know Dr. Steve. Yeah.
Yes. So Dr. Steve is just a brand name.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and that defines who I am. Dr. Steve is dedicated to yourself and treating everyone vibrant and equal, and that's how I describe myself.
Mm.
So in the actual sense, I'm Dr. Wamima Steven Intenga. Yes, I come from an organization called Life Package Solutions. I'm the founder, the chairman, the driver, the cleaner, the accountant. Not because I do everything. Yes, of course, there are people in spaces, but I can do everything. This is the company that was created out of passion in 2013. Here in Zambia. Like you mentioned, customer service, passion, it's what I really carry. So when I noticed the gap, I was troubled. I think I happened to be at one of the bigger restaurants in Zambia by then, Shaka's Grill. I did the training from the scratch, and I think that sold me so well. Some that people were being asked, who trained you? Who did what? And when people have got keen interest, instead of poaching the person, they would rather call the person who trained to go and train their people. And that's how the dream grew. Since 2013, it has been a rough journey. It hasn't been easy to get into the space of being known today to a point of corporate. Today, as we speak, I think I'm one of the few organizations that have got an MOU with the Zambian government. The change of attitude that you saw from the hospitals, remember Chilenje Hospital, UTH, there's been a lot of attitude there, lack of customer service. I trained a lot of training like that with the support of WHO. Sometimes the refresher trainings from the police, when you see officer in charges, commissioners, commanders are mobilized. I'm one of those people that goes and speak there. But the greatest one that I keep talk about, and it should be put on record, do you remember the violence that used to be in intercity bus terminus? Long before, there's like fights, whatever. I was engaged to go and speak to the cowboys, to go and speak to the intercity bus terminus management, and the reduction came out. So we deal with a number of institutions. When you follow my page, Dr. Steve, you'll see Bank of Zambia there, Minister of Livestock and Fisheries. Just now, I'm running a training since Friday with the Minister of Agriculture. There's quite drug enforcement. I've dealt with anti-corruption. So it has been a good journey, enjoyable. Bigger institutions like Alumbira, Rubis Filling Station. I can mention Just follow my page, you'll see all those people that I've been dealing with.
You know, there's so many motivational speakers out there, you know, who fill up stadiums, fill up, you know, my halls, my different places. But when you look at the track record, I don't see them training, you know, people the way you train others. You know, what is your secret?
So the secret is simple and straightforward. There's what we call famous and popularity. I'm not popular, I'm famous. Famous, how does it come in? The value I carry and the impact that value gives impact to different people. So there's what we call word of mouth type of marketing. Speaking to you today, if I leave an impact with you, I don't know who you're going to share with. People have got issues. Maybe I bring out issues that are direct, sorting out people's problems in organization and personal level and whatever it is. I might not want to compare myself and understand what it is, but much of what I get in terms of business is word of mouth type of market, recommendations from people. And also, I love doing the type of marketing where I just go and do awareness in such a way that I speak to an organization and say, I'm asking for 1 hour of your time to speak to key decision makers. When they listen to the content, definitely they'll make a decision, and right there and then it will happen. So there'll be a lot of impact, so to say. That's what differentiates everything. And people watch as they listen. No matter how much people listen to you, if none of those things that you're talking about will catch up with what they need, because there should be a need, then there will be no need. So referrals have been made so much in terms of what I am.
Nice. Reputation is everything. How do you feel you built your reputation?
So reputation itself, you can hear it is repeat. In business, we call it customer intention. The one person that you deal with, if they're able to call you back, it means you left an impact, and that's a reputation that you have. Those people won't just go and keep quiet. They'll go and speak to so many people about it. And as they speak to so many people about it, you know, people in the circles of business, they do visit each other as competitors. And they want to understand the secret of what makes the other person to perform. And they'll tell them, no, one of the secrets is to engage into training. And then we got this trainer that we engaged at some point, and when we engaged him, the following were evaluation: reduced customer reduced customer complaints, customer service improvement, as well as sales improvement, not by double, but by triple. So those impacts, who doesn't want to have triple sales in the organization? Who doesn't want to have a good customer service in the organization? But by the way, I'll tell you that customer service with years I've discovered isn't a problem. The biggest problem is attitude. Failing to provide good customer service is an attitude problem. Failing to work as a team is an attitude problem. And also culture. We come from different cultures. You grew up with your grandmother, that's a culture. You grew up with the, maybe you did your school from UK, that's a culture. So when you come, you've got 20 people of different cultures mixed together.
In one place.
So when Dr. Steve comes in, he cues all those cultures and just form up one culture that brings about one person. Because apparently, I'll tell you, much of the challenge that people have is managing people's behaviors, not managing the businesses. So once people are able to manage their behaviors, then you'll be able to focus on the businesses. Because there's a number of things that you need to begin to check on the businesses. You need to check on individuals, you need to check on this and everything and so on. So there's a lot that is needed, so much to be done.
Now that you've actually gone into it, I was waiting, maybe we'll get into it later. Let's just obviously dive into it. There's, you know, places where we know if you call, you know, we know that they won't pick up. People say, that's how they are. You know, the customer care, the guys on duty don't pick up. And if they do, you know they're rude. That's how they are trained. We don't even know. We just hear these rumors. You know, we go to certain stores where you get into, you know, a store and you know what to expect. You won't get a hello. No one will greet you. They'll just get your goods. Beep. Next, payment, and that's it. What do you think, you know, what do you believe is the problem there?
So the biggest problem, first of all, most owners have gone for cheap labor. You know, when you start your business like this, you check the big organization what they do. Before they open the doors to the customers, they actually engage the members of staff for training. So they've got an understanding. I've noticed there's a very big gap in terms of what I call employment. Tell me, Jay, you and me were together at school at some point. Was there a time when you said, when I grow up, I want to be a waiter? I want to be a cleaner. I want to be... Those big jobs were mentioned. Now, you wanted to be a pilot and you find yourself being a waiter. Are you going to have an interest? So first of all, you have to fall in love with the job that you have.
Mm.
You know, Job has got no flesh, but it's a human being with no flesh, with no running blood. When you learn to fall in love with something that doesn't talk, it will be easy for you to fall in love with a human being. And that's why some of the relationships are not working, because you've never trained yourself how to love. And if I don't love what I do, why should I answer the phone with the right etiquettes? I don't care. And moreover, people have got a mindset of whatever they are doing, it's not for them. They don't see their personal benefit. The one who benefits the owner of the company. And that's why I think in one of the discussions today, I want us to bury someone here who's destroyed people's potential, people's talents, calling, and passions. Two people that I want to bury today on this podcast. Mr. Job and Mr. Sarah. Because there are several benefits behind the Sarah as you go there. How do you know that you're going to meet your husband or your wife? So you need to look nice, you need to have manners as you are talking. You know, he who finds a wife, you know what it means? You're not my wife because I've put a ring on your finger. I should be imagining having you as a wife because of the way you've set a standard, the way you do things. I'm just imagining. How do you know the person you're talking to is going to give a job to your child or your relative? How do you know the person you're talking to is your divine connector? All those are benefits behind the salad. But many people focuses on that. And as they're putting out their energy, they feel they're doing it for the boss, whatever it is, and so on. I'll tell you, it should be a lifestyle. I've asked so many questions to people. Say, you are a chef. Are you sure this is how you cook when you're home? They'll tell you no. You are a housekeeper. In the way you've spread the bed nice like this, are you sure that's the way you spread it? They'll tell you no. So they're just doing it for the sake of, let me do it. That's what they want. There's no connection. And that's where training comes in, to connect you from your home village to the standard that we've set as a hotel or something, or organization. There we go.
Why do you believe customer care, is so important, in an institution?
So, customer care is, I'll tell you one thing. Everybody's selling alcohol in nightclubs, everywhere, whatever it is, and so on. What makes a difference of your alcohol for people to flock in there? One secret that people doesn't know. It's not the ambience factor, how you put the setups of a place, whatever it is, and so on. The most dominant thing that should be in an organization is the personal behavior. The behavior attached to the bottle that somebody's having is so cardinal. And that's what we call customer care. People have to be treated nice. People are coming, people are undergoing a lot of things. You can imagine you're going through a toxic relationship. You can imagine you haven't paid rentals, you haven't paid. So people have to get to a place where they're going to find people that are just smiling and they're just getting the good service. They're being treated like kings and queens, And people will keep following that place. No matter how much you take them to another place, it will be boring. And such places that have just stood by customer service have never died at any given time. Because you go to a boarding place where they don't actually call you by your name. Because I know sometimes some people have got even names in alcohols. Like David, they'll call him Uncle D. So you go to a place where they're not calling you Uncle D. How will you feel? You have to get back. Just Uncle D is part of customer service.
What are some of the common mistakes that you can point out certain places out there are making?
So the mistakes, if I were to go by that list, are plenty, but I just pick on the few mistakes. Owners are also not connected to the businesses. You see, I'll tell you one thing. When you want to be an owner, first of all, you should have a sense of ownership. If you worked for somebody, at a point you're working, did you have a sense of ownership? No. Have you ever owned? No. So someone will just have money and think of, let me open a restaurant. That is a mistake. You don't develop passion at a point when you've got money. You see, I've been in the hospitality industry. So if I find myself opening that thing in the lands of what I've been, it's an investment. That time when I was working as a waiter, as a plate washer, as a chef, as whatever it is, I was admiring becoming an owner. At the time when God gave me an opportunity, I just jumped into that because even when I was there, you know, sometimes certain owners, personally, they will call me to come and ask me, why must you not company? Why do you work as if it is your company? You understand what I'm trying to say? So when you don't have that, it's a gap. So we found most owners, because it's about leadership. The same places where you see people making mistakes, if I go and get into, and I say, okay, for 1 week I want to be an owner, people changing the way they behave. I've seen that one is a gap and it's a mistake. Number two, you just want to have cheap labor. Cheap labor means you're a grade 12, you're what, whatever it is. People have got no even clue about whatever. They've never worked, they've never done anything. And you expect them to produce results. And that's why we need to get to school, and then eventually then you go and learn somewhere when you come. When you come in as a first person, you need to shadow or understand from the person who's been there to do things. But you have trusted people to do things even when they've got no experience. So that one is one of the mistakes. The other mistake is we don't care about what competitors are doing. We don't care about the standard that is there. So mistakes are plenty. If you want to go by that, it will finish the whole day.
This is deep. This is where people go, you know.
Yes.
Before actually go on a break, I'm picturing different places we go to, and we've seen obviously the mistakes that you've pointed out, what they should do. If there's a business owner right now watching, the show, what advice would you give business owners right now to concentrate on to make their, business obviously thrive?
Right. First of all, I want business owners to understand why they get to business. Why we get to business is to get an ever-increasing amount of business from an ever-increasing amount of satisfied customers at a certain quite profit. Customer satisfaction. Also understand why we lose business. That aspect, they don't understand it. Why do you lose business? 1% because of death. 3% people moves away. Today I'm not where I'm always been. I'm here. They've lost business where I'm always. 4% people flux by nature. Every new place that gets in, they go and be there. And if they find that customer service is that, they'll never get back to you. 5% bad recommendations. Every bad attitude to give everybody, they go talk about you. I'll give an example. If you go to the hospital, you find this unruliness or doctor, you won't keep quiet when you reach home. You will share with your wife and everybody. And those here wouldn't want to go back there. 9%, check your pricing. Because people can run away for a difference of 1 kwacha, 2 kwacha, 5 kwacha. So if you're in your own competition, you just get surprised. People are just leaving. And people have never taken keen interest to understand about all these things. 10% is how you handle your customer complaints. It's very kind. You've lost, can you imagine 10% of losing customer because of the way you handle customer complaints? In that case, that's how we come in as trainers. I will give you the 10 steps of one customer complaints. Listen, don't interrupt, don't argue, apologize, thank the customer, take the problem, offer terms of suggestion. Inform the manager, make sure the problem is rectified. Do not mind the customer about the problem, because the show does no one smile. Smile, S-M-I-E-L. See miracles in life every day. You want to see a miracle in the business? Do that. When I add up all these percentages, they'll give me 32% of the reason why I lose customer. The difference, 68%. Attitude comes in. We have undermined attitude. Marriages have gone because one of you had a bad attitude. Businesses have closed because the owner had a very bad attitude of coming drunk maybe for work, being absent, not watching the business as long as you're just receiving money. Because as long as you are distancing yourself from the business, there's something that is dying every single day. People have gotten fired, people have gotten warning letters, and no one wants to discuss this issue. I can safely tell you so far, the whole world, I think I've developed a content of attitude that we can talk about even for 2 days. They cannot start because it's a very serious thing that we need to talk about. And through attitude, that's when we bring in the culture change. People now begin to believe in a lot of things.
Dr. Steve, I'm loving what I'm hearing, and I know someone out there is learning 1 or 2 things. Amazing stuff. We're going to go on a break. When I come back, personally, I want to talk about hospitals. I've got a child. He's 5. We've been to different hospitals. Sometimes the experiences we get are not very, impressive. You get to a hospital, a child is sick, it's become normal, we've seen memes. People say, I don't know, you can't address people like that. There's certain ways you're supposed to treat people that come with a child who's sick, the elderly, all these things. I think we should talk about this.
Every department, every company, everything, hospitals, whatever you want to bring, just bring it on. I'm ready for them. I'll tell you what it means.
Dr. Steve is my guest today. I'm so excited. I hope you're learning one or two things. Let's be better people. Stay right here. Welcome back. My name is Jay Kale. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate your company. Every single share, subscription, everything that you do, I do appreciate you so much. Shout out to our sponsors as well, Betika Zambia, where every a bet that you put on, we respect right here. And do remember that this is the home of champions. My guest today, Dr. Steve. Dr. Steve, before we went on a break, we were catching up on obviously how we're received in different places. And I mentioned specifically the hospitals. This is very important. Someone is sick right now, somewhere, someone is going to the hospital. How are they supposed to be received? Because I've been to both, government hospitals, I've been to private institutions as well, hospitals. Sometimes you wonder, like, this is a private hospital, why am I still treated the same way I'm treated at a government hospital? Why am I paying so much for the same reception? What are we supposed to do to change these things?
Right. Maybe the reason why you receive some of the same treatment from government and the private, it might be the same people that are just switching for overtime or something or so on. However, let me teach the people from the hospital something today. And I've got this point. By the way, do they even understand what the hospital means? That's where it begins from. Hospital, home of serious patients in towns and locations, or home of serious patients including treatment and labor. That's a home. So when I go there, the expectation that I'm supposed to be there, look, you are dealing with someone who is sick, who is not too well. That's one thing that you should know. And that's why restaurants, hotels, lodges, they've related themselves to hospitality industry. It's the word obtained from the word hospital. You are dealing with someone who's not too well, who's got mental problem, who's got what needs to be treated. First, I'll tell you, the first level of medicine is a good treatment that you get from somebody who's treating you. Before you even put on a Panadol, someone should give you hope before you put on a Panadol. So what it is there is, I'll tell you, people first of all are facing a lot of things. People have got credits, people have got marriage problems, people. So when we go to colleges, we are just taught how to inject. But the behavior, the life around the injection is affected. Because a human being consists of the body, soul, mind, and the spirit. Mm-hmm. And when your mind is not there, definitely you can even give overdose. You can even give a temper to someone. Because sometimes it sounds like when you're talking and complaining as a patient, you're just making noise into my ears. I will still insist, this is why we come and bring in culture and change of attitude. People have to be taught how to manage all their lives around them. And that's why our company name is called Life Package Solutions. We provide those solutions. So we've got a lot of people that knows, I'll tell you, the biggest problem in organization is not a skill, but it's a life around them. Mm-hmm. That we need to check and everything and so on. So that attitude that you get, you deal with that are actually absent-minded. Because out of these four things, soul, body, mind, and spirit, a mind is never there. And they'll tell you, no, we've seen so many people that have gotten sick here. Hey, that issue, were we there, especially from the labor, were we there when you were, you understand, they want to be referees in our bedrooms sometimes. Mm-hmm. So they need to understand that is a home of somebody who is not well. So we go there because we want to be well, one, through medicine, but especially the behavior of the people that gives us the treatment. And that's how important, and that's why the customer service comes in. Because there's one thing also that we don't know through mindset change, that we are actually the employers. Because I call it KYC. There are about 11 points, but I'll just mention even about two important points. Number one, a customer is your boss. The same way when you see your boss coming in, actually your boss is your colleague. Because you and you are there for one agenda, wanting to get paid. And who brings the money? The customer. So therefore, what do we say? The customer is your employer, not the government. Even in the definition of the government, people keeps popping up. So we are the employers. And that's why we pay as you earn, we pay VAT, so that money is collected to go and give those people that are there. Now you can imagine, I'm paying you and you are shouting at me. I'm your boss. We are the one that pays their salaries. That fact, let me tell them, we are the one who pays your salaries. As long as you're a government worker, we are the one that pays your salaries. We are your employers. And when you see us, you should always feel that the boss has come. If you are sweeping, you're a cleaner. Stop sweeping. Let me pass and say good morning. Can get that? Eish. I would want to get sick even when I'm not sick. For the sake of just getting there, get the treatment and get healed.
I love that, Dr. Steve. Let me get a little personal with you. I know we're learning so much from you, especially the hospitality, customer care. But obviously you as a person, just one word that would describe your journey.
Being a man of not few words, I will request for 5 words. That would describe, I always look at that as a weight when I look at what I've just described my journey. Sacrifice, disappointment, failure, challenges, frustrations, and the journey of success.
I like that.
Maybe you would have loved me to express what this journey is all about. Yeah. I always feel when I talk about all this sacrifice, whatever it is, I always felt like you have to come across an insurance called faith, red lights called enemies, caution light called family, green light called perseverance, and with a driver called Jesus for you to reach a place called success.
I love that. Any book that changed your life?
Unfortunately, I don't know that it's fortunately. I don't read books.
Yeah?
Apart from the books I read from school, there's no book I can mention I've read a book. My book is very inspiring. I haven't written a book, but every time when I touch a book and begin to read, first page, last page, my story is very inspiring. I learn a lot from myself.
What are your daily habits that contribute to your success?
Health is a priority for me. Looking after myself, very health is a priority for me. So I just discovered that much of the time we spend much of our time chasing wealthy, and eventually as we are chasing wealth, we forget about our health. Then there's always a disease that will catch up with you, that will begin to spend for, and when you find yourself in either India or South Africa and come back as a cargo. So my daily habits that I do every day has made me for the past 5 years never to have fever, no diarrhea. Okay, diarrhea, I'll talk about it. But fever, headache, stomach pains, whatever it is, malaria. For 5 years, I've never had not even a Panadol. I've never visited the hospital. So what do I do every day? I wake up at 4. I decided to be spending 1 hour out of 24 hours, which makes 15 days in a year, to just invest in my health. And that I do every single day. I wake up at 4. Garlic is a must. I chew. And there's nothing good about that 1 hour. I chew garlic. I drink 3 liters of water within an hour, added with lemon seeds. And also my breakfast is mashed bananas. I put turmeric, cinnamon, black pepper, honey, moringa. That's my breakfast. Every day I chew ginger and garlic. So at what point will a disease come and settle me? Because I eat medicine every day.
At what point do you eat, Nchema?
Once a day. My job is very beautiful. Every time when I go, I find 2 tea breaks, 1 lunch, whatever it is. So, you should see now I've lost some weight because of this discipline. I'm interested in living and seeing my great-grandchildren. So I'll think about dying when I reach 90 years. For now, I'm not interested.
I love that. As we go to our final break, obviously, what's just one thing that you'd like someone who's watching to remember?
Healthy. Keep yourself healthy. Stress management. Approach the situation. That's what I can just say. Because you can stress us about something, but the moment you face it, you realize there's no problem. Can I give a few examples, maybe 2 or 3 examples?
Quickly.
Let me give you an example of someone who doesn't talk to you. Someone comes to you and say, you're not well, what, they don't talk to you. Approach them. You realize there's even no problem. But for years, if you're not careful, you're not going to do that. Someone's calling you to say, come and get a 10 pin. Just now, I'm across the road. Then heavy rains comes. You become stressed. You want the rains to stop for you, stopping the weather because of your 10 pin. When people are praying for rains, get an umbrella, get a raincoat, go through the rains, or wait for the rains. You're on the ATM and someone just comes in front of you, you get stressed. Go and find out why someone's going ahead of you. My brother, this is the queue. You know what you tell them? They'll tell you, my brother, I just feel that person, the tears have been coming out. My mother is about to die in intensive care. Please, if I don't buy this medicine, the doctors have asked me to buy medicine in 30 minutes. If I don't buy this medicine, my mother will die. And all of you are stressed. The moment he explains, you're all well. What am I saying? Approach the situation. Stress management. There we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, his name is Dr. Steve, and I've learned something. When death comes knocking, say, I'm not interested.
Yeah.
I'm not interested. It's that simple.
There's no prayer for good health. Just eat the right food. Me, I've stopped. No, there's no prayer for healing. What I've told you is one of those things. Check the countries with highest population: Nigeria, China, India. They eat medicine every day, and you don't like their food. Sometimes when I talk about God, some people even does their face. I tell them, say, look, you're going to have that face forever because of a pain you endure until when you die. So it's better I do the right things now. There's no prayer for good health. BP, hypertension, whatever it is. I used to have that background. But from the time when I realized that my eyes were open, today, I'm the fittest. I'm feeling nice in my body. Nothing's painful. For the past 5 years.
Eat medicine. Eat medicine. That's all I can tell you.
Don't eat for taste.
We're going to our last break. When we come back, we wrap up. Dr. Stevie, my guest. Stay right here. Welcome back. My name is Jay Kale. Thank you so much for being on this podcast. Appreciate you. You could have been anywhere else, but you're here. And also thank you to Fort Mount Studios for this beautiful place, for this beautiful set that you're seeing here. It's all about Fort Mount. Make sure you go to Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and follow the page and like it and find out all the services that Fort Mount has to offer. Also, I want to say thank you so much to our sponsors, Betika Zambia, the home of champions. My guest today is Dr. Steve. As well, wrapping up, Dr. Steve, you are a leader on your own. You know, you're a very inspirational person. Now, obviously, as I talk about, great leaders and inspiration, what makes a good leader? According to you, what makes a good leader and, actually a great leader?
So let me define that by the word leadership itself. The acronyms are the leadership qualities. LEADERSHIP. Leading whilst others are following. And we call that, there are 2 types of leadership. There is MBOA and there is MBGI. MBOA is managing by walking around and MBGI is managing by getting involved.
Managing by walking around.
Yes, and managing by getting involved. You're part of the team, you're doing it. You're part of the manpower. And when they see that, the more you do it, the more you're giving energy to everybody. He is educating and encouraging others. You should always be there to talk to your people every single day. That's why in offices, they call it briefings. In other places, they call it vibe meeting, where you are just there consistently to speak to the people. Yesterday, obviously, you had the whole day. There were compliments. You need to communicate. Those that have done well, praise them. Those that didn't do better yesterday, talk to them and just rectify the problem, because one person's mistake can represent everybody's mistake. Mm-hmm. A is being accommodative. Should accommodate everyone. Don't be a discriminator. Because I've seen certain leaders that have got favorites. And everybody watches that this is the person that they like, that's their favorite. You kill the team like that. This developing amongst them, develop one of them who might become the CEO. Because one of the days you have to retire. One of the hours have to catch up with you, resigning, retrenchment, and retiring. Mm-hmm. So you have to retire. And it is establishing other leaders whilst there. You need to establish leaders. Give them responsibilities. And R is raise other leaders amongst them. That's why when you employ a cleaner, you should employ a potential CEO. S is your servant, H is you are helpful, I is inspiring, and P is be protective about the people that you have it. Those are the qualities of a leader. So if you are here listening, get these leadership qualities and be a good leader and manage your company with competence.
What's the best way to motivate a team? If you are a CEO, you're a manager, you are just a leader. How do you motivate a team to do great and bring results that are needed in an institution?
Employees love to be appreciated. So how do you appreciate them? And that's why we spoke about salary. Salary is not motivating to anybody. It sounds like an entitlement. It doesn't sound like anything that you're supposed to give it and whatever it is. So now, SALARY, salary, something always low and reduces you. And what he has is a job. JOB is John of Borrowers, and because it's John of Borrowers, JOB, that's why people are just over broke. So you have to change the language. I would rather call the people I work with partners. Their money should never be called salary. It should be called shares. Even when it is delayed, the question should be Tigabanality. When are we sharing? Not when are we getting paid. That language alone demotivates. And then set targets for everyone. If you make 200,000, we'll give you this much. If you make this, so people will be chasing the benefit that is there. And that chasing is what brings motivation. Once in a while, give them trips, send them out for lunch, team building. Call people like Dr. Steve to come and just motivate them and speak to them. Uplift their lives. That life has been inconsistently. Let them be given hope. You know what hope means? HOPE, help one person every day. HOPE, help other people everywhere. HOPE, humanity, opportunity, people, equality. HOPE, hold on, pain ends. Then you get motivation.
Dr. Steve, do I see you getting into politics one day?
Above politics, not into politics.
What's the difference?
The difference is I want to be above nations. You see, we've got all these politicians around. They also need mentorship. So if I become into politics, who is going to be above them? For example, I was to appeal one day, I wish I could speak to all members of parliament, all our leaders, to just listen to this. Because our children are watching. I can tell you one of the things my child told me about 4 months ago, 7 years old, Dr. Steve Jr., that he, all this time, has been wanting to be a pilot. Now he wants to be a president. I said, what? And I was very happy. When I listened to the reason, David beat me yesterday, so when I grow up, I want to fix him. Does he watch people fixing each other? I don't know. So above politics, above nations, my dream is I want every nation to receive a phone call from the president to say, come and speak to our members of parliament here. Culture change. It's peaceful. I'll still have the same privileges the president have. So you don't need need to get into politics. By the way, I'm the holder of a doctorate in political science. I'm the holder of doctorate in leadership and influence. I'm the holder of industrial relations doctorate and diplomas. So all this leadership, political, and diplomacy gives me access to go above, not for a constituency or a single country. So I'm a true son of the soil of Africa. So I'm above politics.
I could go on talking to you, Dr. Steve, but let's leave them with this for now.
Sure.
The meal has been cooked. Let's leave them with this for now.
Sure.
Obviously, some people want to get in touch with you. How do they find you? Where do they find you? Maybe this is your time to, let someone know.
Where to find me is difficult, but how to find me through social media. There's a Dr. Steve page. Wamnyima Steven Ntenga account. You find me there, even the numbers are there. When you go to YouTube, you're going to see Dr. Steve Zambia. And you see even the contact number, especially on Dr. Steve page, you see the contact number. And then we pick it up from there. And then that's how you can get hold of me. Otherwise, to catch up with me, where to find me, whatever it is, if you check my timetable, it's quite busy. I'm ever traveling. Check my Facebook page to show you how I travel. Fortunately, my job will always tell you where I am, where I'm going, because we need to advertise. and people have to know where to be found. That's how you find me.
Nice. Now, to sum it all up, everything that we've talked about, obviously, I would ask you to let me know, what you'd want the audience to know, obviously remember you by, but away from this, what's that one powerful message about success? Okay. Customer care, obviously professionalism, you'd love to let someone know. What advice do you have as well, wrapping up?
Success begins in your bedroom. Child begins at home. When I look at a mirror, it always reminds me to reflect before I act. When I look at the door, no door is too hard to push for me to get through into my life. When I look at the fan or aircon, it reminds me to be cool. When I look at the roof, it always reminds me to aim high. And the floor reminds me to kneel down and worship and pray. Through the formula for wonders, W plus W plus W plus W is equal to W. You worship. When you worship, God will give you wisdom. When you got wisdom, you work. When you work, you're going to have wealthy. When you got wealth, you got wonders. Customer care, there are acronyms. CUSTEMER, circumstances, understanding, situation, time, obedience, master, remains and right. Care, CARE, control, attitude, response, and emotion. You told me to summarize. I'm not talking about it in details.
Mm-hmm.
And service is about social, eager, responsibility, vibrant, interest, courtesy, and encouraged. Courtesy is COURTESY. Courage, obedience, understanding, respect, thoughtful, efficient, sincere, and yes, sir, yes, madam. Professionalism, these are I'll talk about them next time. We'll talk about public relations. The attributes that will earn you respect, attention, and professionalism. We call them public relations skills. So get onto that. It's a long story. Every question that you ask, you have to be very careful. It means a lot. We might be here till tomorrow.
Dr. Steve, thank you so much for being such a great guest.
Cheers, man.
Yeah, thank you so much.
I'm super excited.
I appreciate your company today, and for making time.
Thank you.
Awesome. JAY, just, I could make words as well. Like
Please.
JAY, joy, and what's the Y for? I'll create more. My name is Jay Kale. Thank you so much for being on this channel today. I appreciate your company. My guest today, Dr. Steve. I do hope you've learned one or two things. Let's be better people out there. Let's be better people in our institutions. I hope you've learned something. Refer somebody to this episode. And thank you so much for Portland Studios and our sponsors, Betika Zambia. Until next time, bye-bye.